Are you here to show me your little piece of heaven?
Yeah? You want to take the tour?
Baby, I always travel first class.
Fish Police is a forgotten, short-lived piece of early 90s animation that aired on CBS in 1992 and was produced by Hanna-Barbera. It's a fascinating example of the industry's attempt to create adult cartoons in the wake of The Simpsons' success. Fish Police is a noir-style animated comedy set in the underwater metropolis of Fish City. The city is populated by anthropomorphic sea creatures who live, work, and commit crimes, much like humans in a 1940s gangster film. The show parodies classic film noir tropes with the fish puns and underwater gags mixed in. It dealt with more adult themes than typical Hanna-Barbera fare, including violence, seduction, and organized crime. It was one of the first wave of primetime animated shows aimed specifically at adults following the success of The Simpsons. It features more mature themes, innuendo, and violence than typical Saturday morning cartoons. The series was based on a black and white comic book of the same name by Steve Mankus, which had a darker and more satirical edge. One of the most notable aspects of Fish Police was its incredibly talented and high-profile voice cast, which was a major selling point at the time. Inspector Gill, voiced by John Ritter, is the main protagonist of the series. The beloved star of Three's Company brought his signature charm and comedic timing to the lead role.
Damn, I hate risking my life for an unevolved species.
Inspector Gill is the embodiment of the classic, world-weary film noir detective. He is cynical, jaded, and sarcastic, having seen the seedy underbelly of Fish City for years. He's prone to wisecracks and has a laid-back, slouch posture that suggests he's carrying the weight of the world, or at least the ocean, on his shoulders. Despite his cynical exterior, Gill has a strong moral compass and a deep-seated dedication to justice. He's a competent detective who isn't afraid to bend the rules to get the job done, often frustrating his superiors. His narration, delivered in the classic hard-boiled style, sets the tone for each episode, filled with fish puns and noirish observations about life underwater. Biscotti Calamari, voiced by Hector Elizondo, the primarily antagonist and powerful mob boss of the underwater city. Calamari is the main source of conflict for the protagonist, Inspector Gill. He is the big fish that Gill is constantly trying to catch but can never quite pin down due to a lack of evidence and his control over the city. Their relationship is a classic cat-and-mouse game between a determined cop and a brilliant criminal mastermind. Many of the show's plots revolve around Biscotti's various schemes, which Gill and the Fish Police Department must investigate and attempt to thwart. He is the central figure of the city's criminal underworld. Angel Jones, voiced by Joe Bat Williams, the alluring and mysterious femme fatale. Angel Jones is the star performer at the Shell Shack, the main nightclub and social hub in the underwater city of Fish City. She is beautiful and alluring with a sultry singing voice, and she immediately captures the attention of the show's protagonist, Inspector Gill. She is the object of Inspector Gill's affection, and their complicated will-they, won't-they relationship forms the main romantic subplot of the show. She is seductive and mysterious and uses her charm and beauty to her advantage but her true motives are often unclear. She was inspired by the iconic Jessica Rabbit. Pearl White, voiced by Megan Mullally, is the owner of her own diner that Jill frequents. She is also his main love interest, with them having an on-again, off-again relationship for 5 years. She often hopes for Gil to change into a more exciting person.
I am bored.
As she feels their relationship has become predictable.
Next time, get out of the way a little faster, you stupid low-life squid!
Crabby, voiced by Buddy Hackett, is an old bitter crab and taxi driver who frequents Pearl's diner as well as other areas Inspector Gil visits. He occasionally offers helpful information to related cases of Gil's during his rantings. Mussels Marinara, voiced by the legend himself, Frank Welker, serves as the dim-witted, overweight bodyguard and enforcer for the squid crime boss Biscotti Calamari.
Nobody talks like that to the boss.
Sharkster, voiced by Tim Curry, a slick and menacing shark gangster, a large, muscular great white shark. He is always seen wearing a classic suit, a direct visual reference to 1920s and 30s gangsters like Al Capone. He has a menacing grin filled with sharp teeth, a perpetually angry or scheming expression, further cementing his gangster persona. Sharkster frequently uses his knowledge of the law to cause headaches and obstacles for Gil, causing the two of them to dislike each other greatly.
Predictability. It's so predictable.
Chief Abalone, voiced by Ed Asner, the gruff, no-nonsense police chief and the direct superior of the main character, Inspector Gil. He is the embodiment of the classic, gruff, stressed-out police chief archetype. Despite his constant yelling and threats to fire Gil, he has a good heart and genuinely wants to protect the city. He relies on Gil even if he'd never admit it. Mayor Cod, voiced by Jonathan Winters, is the mayor of Fish City. He is rather cowardly and incompetent. Detective Catfish, voiced by Robert Guillaume, is an undercover officer at Gil's precinct and a good friend of him. Tadpole, voiced by Charlie Schlatter, is Pearl's younger brother who works at the police station with Gil. Goldie, voiced by Georgia Brown, is the secretary of the police station. Fish Police was part of a short-lived and ill-fated trend. In the early 90s, networks were desperate to replicate the massive success of The Simpsons, which proved that animation could appeal to adults and included other two new adult-oriented shows, Capitol Critters, about mice in the White House, that was also produced by Hanna-Barbera, and Family Dog, which the executive producer was Steven Spielberg. Unfortunately, the experiment was a failure and all three shows were cancelled within their first seasons. Mixed reception, critics and audiences were divided. Some praised the unique animation style and the fantastic voice work, while others felt the stories were weak and failed to live up to the potential of the fantastic premise and cast. Tone confusion, the show was stuck in an awkward middle ground. It was too mature for its themes and innuendo for children, but its writing, humor, and puns were often seen as too simplistic and silly for adults. Unlike The Simpsons, which had sharp social satire and layered writing, Fish Police relied more on its noir premise and fish gags. Poor ratings. As a result of this, the show simply couldn't find an audience and was quickly pulled from the schedule after 3 of the 6 produced episodes aired. Today, Fish Police is remembered as a cult curiosity and a failed experiment. It's a fascinating footnote in animation history, a show with a brilliant concept, a phenomenal voice cast, and top-tier animation from Hanna-Barbera, but one that ultimately sank due to a lackluster script. For animation fans, it's a must-see what-if example of the early 90s push for adult animation.